Live, folks. Hey, I made it. I made it.
We like that. We like for Stash to make it.
Mm.
Everybody, welcome to today's bite, brought to you by Bobby Girl and Bates. This is Tuesday. Today's bite. We do this live stream every Tuesday night, and as a lot of guys are doing it, I got it on the bottom of the screen. We need some 25K Crappie Connection hashtag shining up. Boy, the guys from YouTube are blowing it up right now. I already see about 2 dozen comments, so definitely appreciate you guys from the YouTube
Give
blowing
my
it up
Facebook a little
already.
time. Give my Facebook just a little time.
They're gonna
They'll be
catch
there.
up.
Y'all
They're gonna
show up
catch up.
now. Don't leave me hanging like I left y'all hanging this weekend.
You're just trying to get it out of the way. I know what you're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
do.
yeah. I know. I'm just knocking it out.
You're just trying to get it out of the way.
You know,
Uh,
I'm very good at reverse psychology.
yeah, I'm not. I saw through it though. It's pretty
Yeah, you're really
interesting.
good because you caught on fast.
Yeah, I picked it up quick. I know what the game is here. Um, had a big weekend at Grizzly Jig. I want a special thanks to every single person that come up and shook my hand, gave me a hug, and just hung out for a few minutes. It is a special honor for me and a honor to represent, the Crappie Connection and get to meet all you guys. It was a absolute blast the whole weekend, and like I said, we got to hung out with a lot of people. Recorded 15 new podcasts, and let me tell you, I've done a lot. I don't know how many episodes we've got in the books before this season, but some of these podcasts, I'm telling you guys, you don't want to miss. Some that I've never even thought about doing before. Some different formats, some different guests, some guys you've never seen before, and some guys you have seen on the podcast before. So it was a great mix of guests that come on the podcast with me. I think they're going to be
What
some of
was
the
your
best I've ever
favorite
recorded.
topic topic of the weekend? One of your one that stand out. You're like, oh, this was a good one.
Um, you know, I don't know.
That's a hard question. Probably had several, I'm sure.
Yeah, we had so many good ones that were just uh, absolutely just a little bit different. And every time I get to interview by somebody, and regardless if they've been on the show or not, once you really dive into it and you just start talking about crappie fishing, it all just flows. And the conversations were great. And hopefully you guys get a lot out from them because I actually learned a few things myself during this weekend about some different things. But we had some of the greatest guests ever to this season, so you don't want to miss them. Make sure you hit that follow button on Facebook and also subscribe on the YouTube side of things. I don't know if Dustin, are you flinching out or is that me?
I don't know. I think it was you, but I could be totally wrong. I'm not sure if it shut off just for a second, but I'm back or you're back, whichever one.
Like I
Um,
said, great time this weekend, and thank you. Would love to know who actually went. Chime in tonight. Say, yeah, I was at Grizzly Friday or Saturday or the whole 4 days or what day you was there. And like I said, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
yes.
Dustin, what was your weekend like?
Char- Charles, yes, I'm going to answer this right now. Charles and Michael, I just got to tell you why I didn't make it. I could think of every excuse in the world, but honestly, I was going to Sea Light to get brakes, and just my whole boat is going to get ran through and redone by those guys. Battery setup, wiring, connecting all my units together, you name it. Moving my seats up, getting everything comfortable for fishing season coming up. And I was supposed to do that Tuesday or Wednesday, give me a little time to get home and get going. It's 3.5 hours from the house in Arkansas. So I was ready to take off. We get that big snow front and the roads were a wreck until about Friday. So I drive up Friday, and by the time I get there in the evening, it's a 9-hour drive to Grizzly, and just didn't make the choice to not go. Just missed out this year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, it's like I said, no excuse. It just financially, timely, it just didn't make sense for me to go up that far for one day and turn around and drive back home. So I missed out this year, and I'm sorry, guys. If it's possible, I'll try to make it up. But I know there's a lot of people want to rip my head off for this one, including Brad. But Brad did
Nah.
cover me on a great show. I watched his live seminar that he gave out there, and it was really good. So I don't know. Maybe I definitely would have liked to be there and help you out on that one, but life goes on, and Lord willing, we'll get another chance at it and go
That's
get
right.
it. And do something again together. But I did miss Grizzly. I do love the show. I've been to one and it was great. Met a lot of people and it was very
Mhm.
humbling to meet all you guys and realize how big this show actually is getting. It's pretty amazing. But I missed out. I'm sorry, guys. Charles, I know I missed out on a good hug there. I'm sure. Hopefully, Brad covered me there.
Yeah, the snack man had your snacks. We enjoyed your snacks that you didn't get
Oh,
to
the
eat.
snack man showed up and
The
gave
snack man was
snaps.
there.
Oh
We
my
we had
gosh,
snacks.
the
I had
snack
a
man.
the snack man brought us some
I know
snacks.
Hunter.
So
Hunter ate all my snacks before they were even out of there. I guarantee it.
yep, they're gone. We enjoyed those. So we actually took up your slack on that part for sure. Even
Uh,
had a gift for you that I brought home that I'm gonna wind up cooking myself.
oh, don't
Uh,
tell me greens. Don't tell me turnip greens. Somebody brought them. No way. No
so
way. Oh
actually
my
had.
gosh! Sure enough. Oh my goodness.
Let me know. I can't recall the gentleman's name that brought me the turnip greens
That's
for it, or
great.
actually brought Dustin the greens. But I'm gonna actually enjoy them myself, so I
They were
appreciate
gonna nip
them for
that in the
sure.
bud.
Uh,
Hey, Brad's gonna send me a picture of that can, and I'm going to the store and buying them by next Tuesday. By next Tuesday, I'm gonna have y'all an update on turnip greens. It's gonna
yeah.
get nipped in the bud too. But man, I appreciate you bringing that up.
So it was real cool, and like you said, it's very humbling and very honorable to get to do this weekly show. And we love talking about crappie fishing. So this is your time. Chime in, give us questions throughout the show. Dustin and I are always looking and we're watching and trying to make sure we get these answers back to you guys as soon as we can. Luckily enough, we have great guys that come on here and help us answer questions as well. So it's a two-way part. Second half of the show tonight, I have got a ice fisherman coming on here, and we're going to ask him some. It's Cory. Cory chimes in all the time as well on here, and he actually messaged me and said, "Hey man, get ready. I'm ready to come on the Crappie Connection talk about some ice fishing." So we're going to hear about some ice fishing, and you're thinking, well, how can that relate? I'm down in Arkansas or Oklahoma, but crappie act the
Hey,
same, and we have seen that time and time again. So you think about cold water, some of this situation can actually still fit in the scenarios that you're fishing with. So,
hey,
well, can't wait to
listen.
get Cory on here shortly.
Ice fishing really hits home right here, right now, this time of year. I know there's people ice fishing really close, within a couple hours of here, catching fish under ice because of the crazy weather we've had. So I wouldn't put it past you. I know there's people in Kansas right now within 2 hours just murdering the crappie under ice. So yeah, we could learn something from that for sure.
Yeah, Floyd, he said he met me this past Saturday and he got a Crappie Connection hoodie. I'm glad to meet you, Floyd. Like I said, it was an honor meeting all you guys. Very, very thankful for you guys showing in there. And it makes me really proud when I got to walk through the store and I would see different people wearing either Crappie Connection hats or t-shirts or hoodies. I absolutely loved it, and definitely want to thank you guys for everybody that wore their Crappie Connection swag that were up there. Y'all absolutely represented us in the way we love to have it. So definitely appreciate everybody that took the time to and wearing some of their Crappie Connection swag. I like that.
That's right. Reggie Hillman said, Dustin, we would call you a crescent wrench where I used to work. You slip off every time you're needed. So here's the deal. Here's the deal, Reggie. It's funny you say that. Every friend I have calls me a scab because I always show up after the work's done. So now I'm a crescent wrench in a scab. Boy, I tell you what, I'm learning by golly.
Yeah, the hashtag over the weekend was no show stash.
Yeah, I saw it. Don't you worry. I saw it. I felt all the love.
Yeah, well, you had your
Gosh.
ears probably burnt all weekend, I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Yeah, they did. Goodness gracious.
But at least have you? What's the weather like been up there? I'm kind of good. I haven't
Man.
been fishing since last week, well,
Oh, yeah.
because of
The
traveling and everything else. But so
the
I'm ready to
last
hear
two
some
days,
fishing reports.
the last 2 days, the weather's been bearable to be able to go fishing. But the problem is, a lot of areas are still frozen up, and some boat ramps and the coves and everything, they're locked in ice, really solid right now. I drove over some water today, and I mean it's locked up. Even the river is locked up really solid. So, I'm thinking we got about a week before you can fish. Fly around and fish a little bit. So it's going to be right in time for this tournament on Grand Lake, which is coming the 14th of February. I really need to get signed up for. Hopefully everything's going to
Yeah.
open up. But they're talking about another winter blast coming in mid-February. I don't know if you've seen anything about that, but they're
I
supposed
don't want
to.
to see that. I'm
Yeah,
over
I
winter.
hear you.
I'm
I
over it.
I hear you. Hey, the groundhog seen his shadow, Brad. We're in real trouble.
I saw that. That was
Uh-huh.
not very good news.
No.
Also, I wanted to bring up real quick, like a lot of you guys watch, the next day or 2 or 3 days later. Um, and even while I bring this up, I had a gentleman ask me this weekend. It does matter. Yeah, after the show, we still like to see those likes, and they actually help us out. Commenting even 4 days, 6 weeks, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and comment, hit that thumbs up, even at the later dates. No, some of you guys are driving, and we don't want you to do anything to jeopardize your safety. So, you get to the house, come back on it, like it. It actually helps us out as more than you can imagine. But so make sure you keep that in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. John Mayo, he said, miss seeing everyone at Grizzly. Still no
Yeah.
power or water. We are
Ah,
dealing with it pretty
man.
well. That is unbelievable, John. I'm
Mm.
praying for you and the family. I know that can't be an easy deal going on. No water either. That's incredible. So that you guys really got hit hard. Man,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Robbie Webb, and I can't remember Robbie's buddy. He was actually a guest on the podcast this weekend, and probably one of my favorite podcasts I ever did. And I think it's going to be very helpful to a lot of people. So, um, just a little backstory on that podcast itself. Robbie came up to me and was telling me he had a buddy that was, trying to fine tune himself on how to find fish on the lake and everything else. So we got that gentleman on the show and we kind of broke down his issues and went through some different scenarios on how we kind of look at things on breaking down lakes. I think it's gonna be a barn burner, guys. So, Robbie,
I'm
appreciate you
excited.
coming up to me and with that show idea. I don't know if he actually he meant a topic, and I kind of ran with it. You know how I get, Dustin.
Oh yeah, I know how you
He
get.
he, he had a he has asked me questions. Hey, good show topic, and I was like, man, he's your buddy here. Let's do it right now. I thought it was that great of a topic to bring up, and with the person that we were actually talking about. So, I
Yeah,
think
that's awesome.
hopefully it worked out great. Hey, Kobe Warren was there. Yep. Scotty Lambert was all 4 days. Kent Williams. We talked about a couple weeks ago about the differences in jigs, hand
Oh
ties.
yes, pair jigs. Yeah,
We
or
broke it
what
down,
caliber?
man.
You did do
Like I
one.
said, we did
That's
a
awesome.
podcast and we broke it down from the ground up and went all through it. And I learned some new things as well, like even on that
They
podcast. So,
say they say no matter how old you are, Brad, you learn something every day if you listen. That's one of my
yeah,
favorite sayings an old fella told me. And ain't that a fact? I think it was because I wasn't listening that day is why he told me that,
you
but
were you were
still.
probably playing being like a crescent wrench in.
Yeah, that was being the crescent wrench. That's a fact. Man, that's funny. I'm gonna be stealing the crescent wrench saying for sure.
Jerry said this is his first time, had fun. Jerry, I'm sure you did. It's a blast. Definitely looking for some more. And uh, I, I can't wait to see you guys. And I've got something up my sleeve that we're just beginning to start working on. So I'm not going to announce it yet, but stay tuned for some more big stuff to come on something similar like this past weekend.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be
Gonna
crazy.
be, gonna be crazy. Gonna be
It
crazy.
is. It is.
Okay. Let's see here.
We
You
need
know,
some. I wonder how many people have fishing reports due to the weather being so crazy. But if you did get to go catch fish since last Tuesday, I'd love to hear about it and live through you because we haven't quite got that luxury yet. Anytime, like I said, we're going to get that weather and be able to go rip on some fish, but it's a slow process right now. It's about to be time, guys. We're a month away from the best fishing to be had. A month away from just getting in there and getting after it. 1 month, and it's on.
I'm kicking in gear next week. That's kind of when I start off, and I'm looking forward to getting on the water. Hopefully, the weather will cooperate. But mid-February for me, kind of like Dustin said, he's always kind of about 2 weeks behind. If you guys
Yeah,
notice, be
yeah.
on the
See, you're
lookout. The next,
mid-February. I'm mid-March.
this
Yeah.
is trophy season. This is going to be when we really kind of try to catch some of these biggest fish up there in the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Hmm.
Um, Craig Robertson, he said, kids love hanging out with you. Craig, I love hanging out with your kids. I am so grateful for you guys when you show up. And like I said, I seen the swag, got my bracelets on. Just absolutely love you guys and all you do for the sport of crappie fishing as well. Look forward to seeing more of that.
Let's see here. Carl Dearman, I love you and all your fishing you got on Grant here, but I can't agree with this comment. He said crappie will hit any bait if you put it in front of their face. If only that was true, I think I'd be a millionaire. But I've dropped a million different baits in front of
Yeah.
a crappie's face and they didn't hit it. So I have to disagree with that one. We finally found a disagreement, but I can't say that I've caught a fish just dropping a bait any color in front of a fish and caught it. We get to
Uh,
see that too many times with live scope.
it's definitely nice the days that they do that every time.
Yeah, yeah. And
Um,
well, maybe he's talking about when you get into where I'm talking about mid-March into spring. Maybe that's
mhm.
what he's meaning when I said some of the best fishing's upon us. If you talk about that, I can agree. When you get into the warm weather and right before they spawn, they get real aggressive. You may be talking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. We'll kick into, and we started this, the first of this year, and we're going to do a weekly today's bite, jig of the week, Dustin's choice, my choice, and I'm ready. But I think I did it last week first, so I'm gonna
No,
let
I did it
Dustin.
first last
Did
week.
you?
I did it first.
Okay,
Yes, yes,
that's
yes.
fine.
You're up,
That's
buddy.
fine.
You're up. You're up. Don't be
I'll
trying to
pull you
get me
through it.
again.
Keep being a crescent wrench.
Oh, come on. All right, here you go, guys. Here's my bait of the week. I'm sticking with my guns from last week. We're still on ice, still got a lot of melting off, which is going to murky the water up, make it muddy. I went with a darker color last week. I'd be a dark color this week too. And this is the baby crawdad. I kind of threw it up with a color last week, but I would still be going with some murky water baits probably to start out. Where I'll be fishing, probably 90% of the lake will be pretty murkied up after this is all the sediment will get all nasty and kind of get a little murky water. So I think that would be a killer bait, but I would start with that bait. I'm not going to say I wouldn't be flipping through some different things if it was slower though, because you can expect. We had a big shad kill too, Brad. Huge
Yeah. Oh,
shad kill.
really?
People say that. I mean, they're seeing millions of them, floating around. So I'm going to say the fishing's going to be really tough for a couple weeks. So downsizing, getting small, getting natural might be a must, but we'll see. There's only one way to tell, and that's in a couple more days when this ice thaws out.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Kind of see how the bite goes. If it picks up, or does it help your fishing in a month from now after that kind of cycles through its course?
There you went. I think that was you, but I don't know, Brad.
Oh no. Well, let's see. There we go.
You.
Don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
But it'd be kind of really interesting to see what kind of happens with that scenario there. Far as I know, we haven't had a shad kill. If you've seen one at some of these local lakes, I'd love to know that. That way I can kind of keep track of it and we can kind of watch it together as well. But
Yeah.
my today's bait of the week is going to be the itty bit slab hunter and the blue chrome.
Oh
Man,
yeah.
it's
All
just
right. That's
it's
best
something
of both
about this
worlds.
color. It's just a really
Yeah.
natural bait that I've always liked blue chrome, and you guys have watched all the stuff for the last 3 or 4 years. I always scream about blue chrome, and I'm
Yeah.
definitely a believer in it. Blue and that mm,
Yeah.
crappie
I
look,
hear you.
and it's caught me for sure through the years.
Russell Gates said he hadn't seen his boat since October. Man,
Really?
Russell, that one's tough, brother. I get you. That's I bet you got the fishing itch. It's time to pull that out and get after him.
Yeah. Cory, I see Cory's chiming in. Cory, we're gonna get you here in about 10 more minutes. We're gonna put him on live, and we're gonna question you about ice fishing for crappie. So get this little notepad ready because we're
Yeah.
ready to quiz you about this ice fishing stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Da.
Corey, I'm guessing Bechtold. Corey Bechtold. He said I learned more on the
That's
tough
Cory.
days. Oh, that's who you're talking about. He said I learned more on the tough days than the
The
easy
easy
days
day.
when it comes to crappie. Yeah, I said east, but he's like me, got them big thumbs and hit east instead of easy. But yeah, for sure. Is that how you pronounce his last name? Is it Bechtold?
We'll find out live.
Come on, Corey. I'm like the name connoisseur with all these new names, and I'm batting like 80%, but I need to know if it's Bechtold. That's a hard one for me.
Jay Carr said, maybe go to the river. What do you think, Brad? You know, Jay Carr, I think I'd stick to the Big E if I was you. Uh, he knows what
Yeah.
I'm talking about, and probably a lot of other people, but I think I'd stick to the old Eagle
Mhm.
Lake. Let
Yeah.
her shine on through this weekend.
Yeah. It sounds like that's a killer time of year to go kill them out there. Carl asked, Brad, did you get to talk to Eric about them crappie in California?
Yes, I did. We did a podcast with him and Jordan Sanders about California crappie, and it has me wanting to go west.
You can't wait, can you?
I'm ready to go
It's gonna
west.
happen. It's gonna happen.
Very enlightening show. So I learned some things that those guys picked up over there while they were fishing. So it's going to be another good episode. Hit that subscribe button, guys. You don't want to miss it. Our new season, and I know how to. You're probably thinking this when they're going to start. We're aiming to start dropping the new podcast next Monday at 6 p.m. is our goal at this point. We've got some other things to iron out, but our goal is to start dropping new podcast on Monday nights at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And like I said, I got 15 in the bank that are great.
That's awesome. Brandon Thomas said, Brad, you did good on live on Grizzlies show. Knocked it out of the
Mhm.
park. I know he's
I,
itching to go fishing too.
you know, yeah. Everybody asks, well, what are you going to do your seminar on? And to me, I'm like, hey, we're just going to get up there and talk crappie. I can ramble on for 45 minutes to an hour pretty
Oh
easily
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Jason Jackson, he says, let's put it on the screen. Is there a lipless crankbait you can throw from the bank once the water opens up? Oh yeah, other than the cream lipless. Little rattle traps. That's a good little bait. Just toss from the bank, reel it back, roadrunner
Yeah.
style jig heads. And also I would suggest, let me find him. And I talked about this bait too. Very versatile bait that we come up with that will do it from the bank, the dock, the pier, the bridge piling, or whatever you want to do, and that's the head turner. That would
Oh
be a
yeah.
great bait to cast from the bank and walk up and down and search for fish. So check out the head turner.
Yeah. You know, the swimming minnow, we have swimming minnows and strollers, stuff like that is good too. Get a little tail action when you're reeling it back.
Hmm.
We'll do it those still. Sam Kirtley, I believe Sam Kirtley. Shout out to my 82-year-old dad, Sam Jr., who fractured his hip 3 weeks ago. Still in local rehab, but couldn't wait to listen to the Crappie Connection tonight. Well, Sam, we're praying for you. Hope you get to feeling better, and that just heals
Yep.
right up for you, so you can rip on some crappie with all the rest of us in the next month or two.
Ellie, yeah, I'm glad I got to meet you as well. I'm glad you came up and talked a little while at the show. So, like I said, I'm very thankful for everybody that took the time to wait around or come in there, wave while I was recording podcast, and attended the show. I really couldn't tell you, but I felt like I had a really good crowd in my seminar, and definitely appreciate a lot of
It
people
looked like
coming
it.
in and sitting through it.
Courtney Sanders says, me and dad were at Grizzly 4 days in a row. Had amazing
Yep.
time. B&M and Crappie Magnet. Have a wonderful week and sore lip 'em all.
Yep, and she represented the Crappie Connection loud and proud all the weekend with
That's
her
awesome.
Sun hoodies, and
Sweet.
Courtney, thank you for doing that, and thank you for all the help that you did with us there this weekend as well. And we'll see you at Kentucky Lake.
Oh, will you?
Might
Are
be.
you fishing? You fishing Kentucky Lake?
We'll be up there in April, the
Oh,
end of
sweet.
April.
That's awesome. Hey, Corey Bechtold, he said, I nailed it. That was the right way to pronounce his last name. He said Clear Lake, California. Corey, yeah, that's where a lot of people went this year. They went and visited Clear Lake, and I mean several group. I know I don't think anyone came home without catching 3 pounders for sure. Everyone caught several 3 pounders.
Mm.
It was a incredible trip. I don't think anyone came home without a 3 pounder. I mean, maybe some of the clients of some guides, maybe that just went there one day, but I don't think so. I think everybody caught a 3 pounder that fished there. It's incredible.
Yeah.
They were catching two, three, four
Yeah.
hundred fish a day, sometimes more than that. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, and like I said, I got a whole podcast just
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
to
I
those
bet
guys
you'll
that's
hear
been out
all
there.
about that lake.
You're
That
gonna hear all
lake
about it.
will be amazing for the next few years, and then it may get caught up to who knows.
Now, this fish liable to change a little bit.
Yeah, they may
Um,
get a little jig friend, a jig shy.
got a today's bite fish report. Gator Slayer. He said call limit on Okeechobee, Oconee, Georgia.
Oconee.
Oh, Coney. Okay, we got
That's
it.
what I'm going
Water's
with.
45,
I don't
fish
know.
deep channels, not many fish suspended, but the ones that were was in less than 5 foot. Cast it to Slab Slayer and they killed it. What color Slab Slayer? We got it almost there, Gator. I
Ooh,
appreciate that
slab
fish
slayer.
reports. Sounds like a great time you had, I'm
Yeah, it
sure.
does. Man, it's
Mr.
epic.
Jared Curtis, he said he'll be on the water next Thursday for 2 weeks. Man, Jerry, you'll be catching them, I guarantee it. This
Oh
fella
yeah.
catches them all the time.
Man, this just gets me in the mood for fishing. Every time we do this, I'm ready to go to the water in the morning.
Roy says, what color jig head do you use with pecan cream? Let me get a pecan cream. I got one.
Oh,
I got
that's
one
that's
handy.
a very good question. I love
Mhm.
pink. Pecan cream's a really good versatile color, but pink is good with it. Orange is really good with it. Orange is really good with it. I've used it with white. I mean, you name it, you can use it with it. But even a regular standard lead head does really well with it too. But pecan cream
Yeah.
is killer color.
I look at that chartreuse. That is real good looking
Chartreuse
on
is
there.
good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can't really go wrong when you're using dollar colors like that. You can mix a lot of jig head colors with it.
Oh, Jerry, Jerry and Robbie was the one on the podcast with it. I appreciate that, Jerry. Hats off to you for coming on and let me quiz you and throw all that stuff at you. I definitely appreciate you doing that. Great podcast coming from it.
Chris Real said a buddy of his caught a 340 through the ice this weekend. Woo, would that be epic? If I was to go
Hmm.
ice fishing, that's what I'm talking about right there. Big old fat
Um,
freezing.
Woods in Water 53, Lake Texoma is stalled out. Single fish on stumps, trees, 15 to 20 foot of water. Roamer suspended, 12 to 15 foot of water. Bobby Garland, Slab Hunter, Monkey Milk, and Double Silver Rainbow. Man, I'm surprised neither one of us said that color this week. And
I
when I got
know.
to Grizzly, I went and looked at the Slab Hunter and Double Silver Rainbow,
Yeah,
and we had a few packs left time I got there Thursday afternoon, and by
they're gone.
Saturday, well, by Friday, I think they were actually sold out. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
for
That
good
that does
reason.
not surprise me. Yeah, you know, I feel like that bait has grown the last 3 years. I'd say since
Mhm.
we started this live deal, and live scope, we're really tuning in on single fish, Roman fish.
Yep.
It's just like blown up. We realize that that is a killer bait.
Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back in the swing of things and fishing more. And like I said, we're just all praying for good weather. Special thanks for every lineman, serviceman that's been
Oh
out
my
there
goodness.
braving the cold and the
Yes.
weather elements to get electricity and everything back to everybody out there. Um, Last Wednesday, I got to drive to my cabin at Lake Washington, and the roads were treacherous, but I seen the linemen out there working in all that horrible weather. My respects highly up for those guys. Appreciate everybody
I
that
agree.
does that for a living and gets us all back living normally. Because I can tell you for one, uh, when you go back and you don't have power at night and you're running off generators, it's not that fun.
Yeah, that's I agree with that. Thank you to everybody out there sacrificing
Yeah,
time away from the family, all kinds of stuff that really is amazing that you all do. I still can't believe we got people without power and water right now. That is
yeah,
devastating. That's bad. That's a long time. That makes you the generator thing, man. You gotta that'd be something to invest in, I guess, next time. Makes me want one just in case.
yeah. It was
So when you had generator,
it was quite something.
do they last a full day now? I mean, do you have one that lasts quite a while, or do you have to just keep on it?
Well, mine and I'm that's one of the things I want to upgrade this year is actually a
Yeah,
generator.
I could
Um,
imagine.
so definitely going to upgrade that, but I could get about 12 hours of run time out of a full tank of
Yeah.
gas.
Okay.
Um, there's Cory right now coming in, so we're going. get
Yeah.
Cory started. But
So,
yeah,
you fill that tank right before bed, and then when you wake up in the morning,
you got that right. Let's get back on here. Things acting a little crazy. Maybe it's still trying to defrost them. We're gonna get Cory on here. He's just gonna chime in here any second now, and we're gonna talk about how he catches fish, these crappie in
yeah,
ice.
yeah,
On ice. It's always been so unique to me, and it's a bucket list of. I mean, just. But I want to be in an ice house. I'll be honest.
yeah, yeah. Have one of them. Yeah, I can't blame you. Maybe a little heater. Look, he's already freezing cold right now in the ice house.
Yeah,
He's already
Cory,
in the ice
welcome.
house.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome to today's bite. I know you chime in all the time. I definitely appreciate that. And you know, I asked last week or the week before, hey, if you got some, good things you want to share on today's bite, let's hook up. And Cory reached out to me, so he's on here tonight. And where you at, man? Don't look like you inside the house, are you?
I am in the house. I
Okay,
was going to
good, good.
go ice fishing tonight, but then I got the email from you, so I was like, I'll curb the ice fishing for tonight and join the
Yeah.
live.
That's
Well,
So I'm
awesome.
good.
just
We're
in the
glad to have you.
basement. I'm just in the basement, just chilling out, literally chilling.
That's yeah, yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah, do you have kids?
Yeah, I have 3 kids and
That
2 grandkids.
that's why you're in the basement. You're down in the quiet spot. Yeah,
Mind you,
I
I
know
said I
all
said
about
three
that.
I said 3 kids and 2 grandkids. So
Oh yeah.
our,
Oh,
our
okay.
house is becoming more and more quiet.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. Got you.
Yeah, but it's fun
um,
though.
Eric, Cory, excuse me. Cory, tell us everybody where you're from
Yep.
and a little bit about yourself. We'd love to hear that.
Okay, so I'm from central Minnesota, a little town called Big Lake. I'm originally from Buffalo, so I've moved a whole whopping
Mm,
10 miles away from my hometown.
A little
So
mhm.
town
it's,
called Big Lake.
and the sad thing is, Big Lake is not a big lake.
That's funny. That's
Yeah,
funny.
it's about average. Uh, but we have so many lakes in our area, and they all have their pluses and minuses. Some lakes, we can go out and really search for a true, what we would call up here like a trophy, something that would be in that 2 pound, just over
Yeah.
2 pound range.
Yeah.
But then there's other lakes that maybe they're more just cutter size, those 9 to 10 inch, just chips, if you will.
Hmm.
But
Mm,
it's
great.
definitely brings its challenges for sure once we get the ice. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's like a weird thing up here in Minnesota, or anything in the ice belt. It is almost like a cult. I mean,
Hmm.
Really?
people there. I mean, it's a social event. You don't have to be hardcore into fishing. You can walk out there and see some people on the ice and chit chat.
Yeah.
It's a very social event in the winter time, and people just live for it. And
Oh yeah.
if you guys ever have the chance to, down in St. Paul, they have their big, we call it the big dance here. It's like the big
Mm,
ice show of the season. It's usually that first weekend in December. It's insane. It
Yeah.
is.
I seen some videos on Facebook of that. It looked
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. I've had the pleasure to work that event for the last like 15 years for different companies.
Wow.
I now have my own company in the fishing world too, so it's tough to start out small. But I know you guys talked a lot about Bobby Garland, and I remember, I think her name was Betty Rutledge, way
yeah, I
back
know
in the,
Betty.
and I think her husband was Ned. And I remember
Yep.
them showing the Bobby Garland baits, and she was so excited about them and was a big advocate of Bobby Garland. And it really kind of was like where my world of artificial baits was kind of, I had already been there more with other brands, but I had seen the Bobby Garland, and it has been coming on strong. There's
Hmm.
a strong presence of Bobby Garland up here. When it comes to ice fishing, you guys were talking about your baits of choice,
Yeah.
and I actually had to go steal these from my son. He
Uh
Oh
went
huh.
he went
yeah.
up to the
Oh
store
yes.
and got these little
That's a
mayflies.
killer. You bet. Itty
So
bit mayfly.
is that what it's
Yeah.
called? Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean,
Uh huh.
he's been creaming the fish on these things too. But
That's awesome.
I think the big thing though, and this is something that I have learned in the ice fishing world, more so than anything. Obviously, live scope helps people that don't get the ability to necessarily sight fish for crappies. And it's like one of these conversation points. You hear everybody that tunes into this show. What's the color? What's the combination? And so much is brought into color when, in my opinion, angle is by far the most important. I think you just did a video about a loop knot, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how and granted, I'm just terrible at tying loop knots, so I'm not going to
What?
do it. I'm not even going to
Come
try.
on.
I've
Hey,
watched.
I
I've
hear
literally.
you.
You know
Yeah,
how it
but
is on Facebook and you watch a
yes.
reel on knots,
Please
and
tell
then
me.
the next
Please
one's
tell me
another
you.
knot and another
Please
knot,
tell me.
and then you
Yeah. Yeah.
doom scroll for the better part of like an hour and a half, and I must have had like 15 loop knots queued up, and I'm just like, no, not going to do it. But this is what I would say to anybody that views this. Color is going to be up here a lot more than it is. I think angle is very important. So if you tie like a Palomar knot, improved clinch knot, uni knot, whatever you tie on your jig, before you send it down to your fish, set it in the water and just take a quick peek at it. Horizontal is very key for crappies.
Natural.
Yes, if you're imitating a minnow, of course. Now, there are bites that we have, obviously, ice fishing, and live bait is still huge up here when it comes to ice fishing. And a lot of people like to have a vertical jig. And then what they do is they'll run their vertical jig, but they'll put a minnow in the back or thread a wax worm on for their crappies or sunfish. So there
Cory,
is, yeah.
um, got a question about how thick the ice needs to be before you can actually go out there and fish on it to be
Yeah.
safe and such.
Yep. Safety is a huge part of this region. Obviously,
Yeah.
that's why companies are building suits that have some flotation in the shoulders, knee pads, feet, etc. I don't want to get there, so 3 inches is what I feel comfortable with. But we still wear like picks around our neck. So if you do plunge through, you just pull these things off your neck and you kind of try to climb yourself back up and on the ice.
Wow, that is incredible.
Um, yeah, the stuff that we have to deal with up here is pretty insane, but safety is very important. But they usually
Yeah.
say 3 inches to walk. There are people that will risk it on thinner ice. Just got to be careful and really pay attention. I always say this too. When it gets crazy cold and if you fall through the ice when it's cold, I don't care where you are on the lake, you got to get out and you got to run to your truck. And when it's single digits or
Transport.
less, that's where it's most dangerous. So the only time, knock on, I'm knocking because I don't want to do this again, but
Yeah.
late ice, at least when you plunge through, usually it's because the ice gets like honeycomb. So there'll be a foot or more of ice, but you'll
Mm-hmm.
be walking, and it's usually those shoreline areas where the weeds are right underneath the ice, and they kind of now it's weak spots in the weeds. Well, if you plunge through, sometimes it's 60 degrees out. So my favorite time of year, absolutely hands down, when it comes to ice fishing, is the late ice period, where it's kind of crazy. You have the sun is going to beat on the top of the ice and start melting the top a little bit. The snow melts and it kind of starts to sink into the ice and it kind of starts to bite in and it finds little routes and goes into cracks, old holes. But then it becomes almost like a magnifying glass when that ice becomes shiny and it'll warm it up underneath. And now you'll get the ice melting from both directions. And what happens is
Crazy.
that layer underneath the ice gets warm and all the bugs are trapped under the ice from all winter long. And man, those fish are
Never come
going to be
alive.
at your feet. And that's where sometimes a little bit longer rod. I mean, I got some rods behind me here. And we don't use short rod just because it's cold up here, but
Yeah.
sometimes you got to use a little bit longer rod so that you don't spook the fish when you walk up next to a hole. So, but it's so crazy because the fish are definitely looking up and, I might have lost you guys, but you're looking for those fish that are below the ice and you got to be very cautious how you approach a hole walking up to it because you can spook the fish off. Or if you do too much movement, you spook the fish too.
Okay. Got Charles. He says, Corey, you ever use any kind of pink jigs up in Minnesota?
Absolutely. So there's obviously different types of pink. This one is a UV hot pink, which is a very good seller. But honest to God, this natural bubblegum color, as far as my confidence level, both are very good. But if somebody came into our booth and was looking for some jigs, I'm going to point them, especially if, Clear Lake, Dirty Lake,
Yeah.
unsure. That bubblegum color is just a little more not so in your face, so you can get away with on those clear bodies of water. And
Luke
bubblegum's good.
Jones. I got a question from Luke. He says, water temps should be pushing 50 to 52 beginning of next week in Tennessee. Would you start looking for blackfish in secondary points of creeks starting to stage on brush or still out and deep in schools? I think both. My comes to my mind is just as when we start talking about the spawn, all these fish are not going to run up at the same time. You might have some of those blackfish starting to move up a little bit. I would personally start out deep and go shallow in that scenario. That's where I'm going to be looking next week anyway, and we're a little bit further south, so that's where I would go. If I'm not finding them out deep, start pushing up a little bit shallow. But you've got the right idea going there, Luke. So I think it's maybe just a little early. Not
I
far
can
though.
I can chime into that too, because last year I went to the East Tennessee Fishing Expo, and I had a friend of mine who just moved. Like, he was my neighbor, and his wife got so sick of winter, she says, "I'm moving, whether you like it
Mm-hmm.
or not." So they moved to Loudon, Tennessee, and so we had a place to stay. We went down there, and he knows I'm a diehard crappie guy. He's a diehard bass fisherman. I'll forgive
Mm.
him.
I need some.
But it was when we were there, it was crazy cold. Again, imagine that, winter's cold, and he wanted to get out fishing, and so we went to, I think it's called Watts Bar.
Yeah.
So, granted, I don't know every body of water in Tennessee. I mean, I'm from Minnesota. We started out, I don't remember. It was not far away. It was only a mile away, but it was a different lake, if you will. But then we ended up going to Watts Bar, and when you guys talked about shad and forward facing sonar shad, you got to really learn how to read your electronics. And my buddies saw fish everywhere. They're like, "Oh, look at all these fish, look at all these fish." And he was like, "This
Yeah.
is all we see in Tennessee. This is horrible. I can't catch anything. It's not like fishing in Minnesota. This is a 180." And we ended up, they like, "Okay, let's try for some crappies," because some of the back bays actually were frozen. But obviously with a boat you can't get in there, and there
Yeah.
wasn't enough ice to walk on. So it got to the point where watching my buddy with the forward facing sonar, his kid, he's wearing the hat that says, "If you ain't scoping, you're hoping."
Mm.
And I'm like, "Hey man, can I just run your boat for a little bit? I don't know what these fish are." Yeah, you see them everywhere.
Mhm.
And again, the shad would go into those back bays. And what I ended up doing was I downsized just a little bit. Um, and and again, I think, with Bobby Garland, especially, I saw that huge presence at the East Tennessee Fishing Expo. I didn't see anything really micro when it came to baits, like something in that 1 inch range. And I had brought just a handful of stuff from home, not nearly enough. And but this is what I learned, and I don't know if it was just because of the time, the cold front, everything that we had going. When I would see this pod of fish, I would actually, like, if you kept the live scope on them, you would just start seeing this little bit of like, whoa, and they would start to disperse and they would move a little bit. And just paying attention to electronics, I was like, something's up. Like, they're not,
Oh yeah.
they don't like this. So my buddy and his son were not too happy when I'm like, "Hey, I'm running your boat," and I would like, and then I would see, okay, there's fish there, and as long as I knew where they were, I would turn the live scope off of them, and we'd start pitching. And at first, I think the first fish we caught was like a little bluegill, and they were like, "Wow, I didn't even know bluegills were down here." It's like, "Yep." And then we actually dialed in the crappies really good, and for not knowing the body of water, and we must have caught. And this was what was interesting to me. I think we landed. probably like 30 or 40 crappies. But when I let Tanner take over the boat and run it, he really wanted to watch the fish react and bite. And he was scoping, and you could just see the fish they'd see it, but they would come into the cone, the sound, and they would just kind of lock up a little bit. Like they weren't quite, yeah, it's like something's not right.
Yeah.
So we went from catching like 30, 40 fish without the scope on them, only using it as a search tool, to only landing 2 crappies with the scope on them. Now, it's not going to always be that way. I know that, and I'm sure everybody that has forward facing would try to argue the point, but it is true that noise will affect the fish, and especially on pressure bodies of water, and we see that a lot in Minnesota.
And we're going to talk about that. And I think you just mentioned it a second ago about the small profile, the itty bit mayfly. I don't know if you've actually seen that bait yet. Let me see what happened. Kind of, I think everything's froze up with the internet here, but here's Dustin. But what he was talking about is downsizing and looking at these fish on forward facing sonar. And it kind of rang a bell to me on some of that was identifying what we're seeing on the screen, going from looking at just a lot of fish on the screen to actually saying, hey, that's a crappie. Dustin, what do you think when you're looking at a screen just full of fish? What screams to you crappie when you see a screen? Just how you're identifying all that
Gosh,
mass?
that's a good question. It's so hard to explain what you see when you know it's a crappie, but it's almost like it's such a distinct look, but it's so hard to explain. I've tried and tried, but it's almost like you need to point one out in the screen. Your eyes get trained to what you're looking at, and see what you're looking at. But I'd almost say there's a fuzziness to I say a perfect circle, then people get mad because I say a circle, and it's like that's not a perfect circle. So it's so hard to explain, but you know what I'm talking about, Brad. It's like you know
Yeah.
exactly what you're looking at, but it's so hard to tell like
Well,
somebody
for me, what I tell my clients whenever we come across something like this is first thing that I want to put out of my mind is if it's flickering,
are moving at
erase it
all
out of your mind.
mainly. Yeah.
You're looking, and I'm trying to focus on a solid sonar return. So I'm
Where
not looking
did
for
Corey
something.
go?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I
The
missed something
internet,
because I booted off and then jumped back on and it was gone. So okay,
but
but yeah, not I always said when you're starting off, look for that dot that's not moving at all. If there's
yep.
anything moving, just give it up and go to something else for starters. I mean, now Brad, I know you can even tell when a crappie's swimming by, which is crazy too.
Oh yeah. Um, Corey, we got you back on here. Let me
Yep.
see.
Yep. Took a
We,
second.
no, we're just talking about how we're identifying actually crappie on live scope when you come to that scenario you were talking about. And, you know, I guess it's a good and bad necessarily thing down here because we have so many different types of fish there, especially this time of year, are out there concentrated concentrated together.
Yep.
But for me, like a bluegill, you mentioned bluegill a minute ago. Not sure what happened.
It's been a
Uh,
tough night. We've
it's been
all
a
just
tough
been
night. Internet's just
bouncing
it's
off.
froze up, I think.
I
But
don't know. Yeah, it's almost like when you would glitch out, it kicks me out. I don't know what's going on with it.
mm,
It's
I
getting
think it's just
crazy.
good old
Yep.
internet not here.
It's
But
it's 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 freezing up.
Yeah,
undoubtedly so.
for
Minnesota
sure.
brought the cold.
I
Yeah.
think so. But I'm looking for anything that's solid on the screen. If it's jumping around, I think a bluegill a lot of times when I identify them
It's
are almost like
flickers.
little bees. I mean, they're zipping
Yes.
around. They're kind of going erratic motions, and usually there's not just one of them. They're usually packed up together pretty well.
Seth
Yeah.
has a good comment too as well, saying the fish have a fuzzy one. That's next level when you learn what you're looking at. A bigger crappie will definitely have a fuzziness or like
Hmm.
almost a hazy see-through. Like some of the biggest crappie I've caught, it's almost like you can see through them, and it's crazy. I
Hmm.
can't explain why that is, but it'll have a lot of fuzz to it, static around it compared to just that solid blob.
Yeah, and I've been trying to read some of the comments, and obviously and I know how lives go, and it's hard. And I did tell
Oh
everyone,
yeah.
like, hey, some of the questions I will answer them after this.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to, because this is the coolest platform ever when it comes to crappie fishing, especially your guys' skill set down in your area, and again, I think it was before you even started, it brought me on the live, and my friends that live in Florida that come up and fish with me, and then when I go down and fish with them, they're like, "Oh, my buddy caught one
Yeah.
crappie, a big one on a rattle trap or whatever," and they always want to go to the deep water. They always want to go to the deep water, and I'm like, nope, let's change this up. But what's cool is you get to interact with your viewers and really get a lot of these questions answered. And what I
Yeah.
like about what they're talking about with forward facing sonar, because it's still fairly new, right?
Yeah.
It's here.
Decently. Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
gone from pan optics to the first live scope, now the Gen 2, Gen
Yeah.
3 active target coming. Now everyone's jumping in the game on forward facing. It's how you interpret your electronics.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed, and this is just me in Minnesota, not where you guys are by any means, but I find it very rare to find giant crappies in a group. What I
Oh yeah.
tend to find is majority of my eater size. In Minnesota, our growth rate is much slower than what you guys have.
Right.
So 12
Same
inches is a
same
good
But
story
one.
generally here.
lifespan, on the
Yeah.
same token, the
Mhm.
lifespan for crappie up there are probably double what they are down
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so anytime we get a 15 incher, like my wife got a 15 last year, and it was funny. She went back to back breaking her personal best. She got a 14 and a half, and then the next fish, she got a 15. And when you look at it, you could just tell that is an old fish. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of in our region, catch and release is kind of important. But a friend of mine that lives in Oklahoma is like, yeah, these things die in just a matter of a few years. They just
Yeah.
big and
Yeah.
then dead, and it's like, yeah, we don't have that luxury. So
Yeah. I will say
selective
my
artists.
top some of my favorite clients are from Minnesota because I love the wow factor they have when we catch a lot of 12 to 14, 15-inch fish. They just really appreciate it more than most clients around here. And it's just like, dude, we fish all year for this fish. And it's like, oh, you guys are
Yeah.
in for a real treat. This last year, I had some guys that did a lot of ice fishing up there. They even had the accent. You guys have a little bit of a different talk too. And it was really funny. But
Yeah,
they
yeah.
called crappie something different, and I mean, it was just a whole different world. Like your guys is fishing, me and Brad would struggle going out there and trying to catch crappie like we do at home. It's a whole different lifestyle and world, but they definitely are enjoyable to be around because they're not used to like solid, nice crappie from around this side. Like, a little bluegill is super exciting to them. So you catch a 14, 15-inch fish, they're like, woo-wee.
I know. The sad thing is, like, we do have that around us. And what
Yeah.
we're starting to see is we have a lot of lakes that they have reduced the limits on. It's come down a long way since when I was a kid. And
Hmm.
it's like it's a double-edged sword. It's like they go, hey, you can only keep 5 crappies on this lake. What's going on here? The sad thing is like every time you go on those lakes, those are the lakes you catch those 13, 14, 14 and a half, 14 and three
Hmm.
quarter inch fish. So they're kind of like
That's
labeling
true.
these lakes,
Yeah.
by putting the reduced limit on it. So, some, and at first there was a lot of backlash from people that really wanted to keep a lot of fish, but we're blessed, man. We don't have to go far. Like I can, like
Yeah.
if I point this way, 2 miles that way is Big Lake, okay. And if I go 4 miles that way, I'm
That's
into the
crazy.
Three Lakes and Becker. I could go 6 miles, 10 miles. Like everywhere around me is good fishing and good opportunity
That's
to
cool.
catch fish. So we're kind of
Um, got a question for you,
yeah.
and I'm gonna hit you with some questions because I want some of these known before we get out of here about ice fishing. But what's the coldest temp you've ever caught crappie while fishing? Air
Uh
temp, and if you recall water
Yeah,
temp, I'd like
water
to know
temp.
that as well.
I'm curious about the water temp for sure.
we ain't paying attention to water temp. I think under the
You
ice
ain't.
it's all equal
Yeah.
once you hit it. But coldest outside air temp was years back. I was up in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, which is like northern Minnesota, not terribly north, but we had a blizzard. And then the next day was the backside of the front that hit. And it was, I think it was like 25 below zero. And this is what was interesting. And again, this dude, like I'm not joking. There was no wind and the sun was out. And it was like,
terrible.
this is not bad. This is not bad.
Yeah.
Because that's why, like, I always try to wear anything black, because black, the sun
Absorbs heat.
So we were catching fish and everything, and you'd unhook fish and put them back or whatever you were going to do. And if your hands got cold, you just set them on your bibs, right on your pant legs. And it was like, not bad. And it was tolerable. But man, we had a nasty cold snap recently, and it was windy the whole time. And I'm like, nope, no.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, that wind can change things big time. I mean, it's such a difference when the wind is blowing. But I will say, what I've learned, anything from like 10 degrees to -20 all feels the same to me. I mean, it's like it's freezing cold. I mean, it's I've not noticed a huge difference. I've hunted in it, I've fished in it, and I just think anything 10, 15 and under, it all just feels the same to me. It's a burning cold.
Yeah. When you throw the wind in the factory, it always kind of makes it a lot worse.
You throw the wind in 40 degrees in wind, it's the same as 10 degrees to me.
It's all cold.
Yep.
About bait presentation, a lot of times when you're down there, I know you guys are, fishing through a hole in the ice, using shorter rods, poles, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But are you trying to keep that jig mainly still? And I know you're using live scope.
Oh, you talking to me bad or I'm just
Let's see if we can get back here to answer the question. I'll start over.
Real quick, Seth Haynes, he asked about Grant's fishing report. Seth, have not been fishing, brother. Everything's kind of froze up. A lot of the ramps in the back of the creeks are froze up. So it's not, I'm sure they're just roaming, still same story, roaming pretty deep.
So
yeah, I'm interested in that presentation because I think, guys, whether you're fishing off of a dock or a pier, this presentation that I want Cory to go through is probably essential no matter where you're at, especially in these colder temperatures. But when you're dropping that jig down and you've got that fish on your live scope, are you wanting to keep it above him, sit it still, or what are you trying to really do with the presentation wise?
Usually try to always keep it above the fish. So here's like this unit right here is a flasher. I don't know. It's a lot of people down south probably look at this like, well, what the heck is that thing? But it's the good thing about a flasher is they are real time. And running active target, my friend's live scope, my friend that has the Humminbird Mega Live, I've noticed that there's a little bit of a delay on those. Flashers are real time. However, your cone is what, the sound that comes out of it. Okay. It's not just beep, this is the only thing we see. But there's a little bit of a lobe to it when it comes to sound. But this is the thing that people don't understand is if a fish is on the outside of the cone over here, the sound is coming here, but they are going to display on the unit itself lower in the water column. So what happens is everybody that runs a flasher, they're always like, the fish is coming up, the fish is coming up, the fish is coming up. That's not necessarily the case because when your bait goes down, a fish that is, if you stop above it, right, that fish that you say is coming up is only coming in. So when it was over here, it's displayed lower on the electronics, but when it comes in, it just looks like it's coming up. So not all the time are the fish actually coming up. So you usually should stop above them. And everybody who has forward now and they understand. Always stop high. I did see a video. I wanted to finish watching it. It was from the Crappie Connection. Might have been at Grizzly, and they were talking about how to fish. They watched it chase down like 24 feet. So, but generally speaking, crappies are going to be looking up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the way they are. Now, if a fish is super hungry, like a fish that's going to be eating like invertebrates that are coming out of the bottom, the basin bites that we have right now in our area, they're not always going to be on the bottom rummaging, but they might be out over it and just waiting for them bugs to come up in their world. But if they get super hungry, they might go down to go get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
You'll get
usually,
every once in a while you get an aggressive one that will shoot down at it, but still 9 times out of 10 you still got to stop it before they hit it. So same thing, you know, a lot of times it's a rare occurrence around here to get a fish to bite it on the fall, but it will happen definitely if they're really aggressive.
Yeah. And one thing I know, I have some friends of mine that have like their own show, very, very, very popular show in the area. Stop it. But they were with all the forward facing, and it's like 4 guys running around on the ice chasing these crappies. Because ice fishing, you almost need a team to do it, you know, because otherwise it's like, they're over there. By the time you go over there, they're over there, and you go over there. It's just like this. Your noise walking on the ice is going to move these fish around a little bit more too. So you almost need to have multiple people. But what they've noticed is even when the one guy is running the scope and it's like, go drill, and they watch the auger go and drill, and they're like, yep, you're right on top of that fish. That a fast dropping bait is actually spooking the fish more so than a slower falling bait. And I know this would be a complete show. You could do a show entirely on that topic of fall rate. And you could dive into everything from tungsten to lead to zinc alloy into everything. But there's a lot of times that slow fall is going to get you a bite more so than something that just goes flying into their kitchen.
Well, Cory, I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. As always, thank you for tuning in and answering the questions we can't get them, especially when it comes up to about fishing up and on the ice. And looking forward to seeing more posts and reports from you as well.
Yep.
And guys, make sure you join us. We'll be back next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. And like I said, we're shooting for next Monday, a new season of podcasts dropping. And like I said earlier, there are going to be some great ones that we recorded that I know you guys will enjoy. So till next week, I'll holler at you later. Appreciate it, Cory.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, bro. Be careful up there and be careful on that ice.
Oh, I'm going tomorrow.
All right, dude. Looking forward to the post.